Good morning, boys and girls. Today is our last lesson before your test tomorrow. So we are actually going to go over two word problems together. We're going to break them down, we're going to solve them, and then you will have a short assignment where you do the same thing with a few word problems in order to prepare for your test tomorrow. If you have any questions, please send me a message so we can get those questions answered before your test on Wednesday. Since there is a test on Wednesday, we will not have a required math Zoom, but if you do need help, I'll be more than happy to Zoom with you from 10:30 to 11 is our math Zoom time on Wednesday. So make sure you send me a message so that I can let you into that Zoom so we can get you the help that you need. So let's jump right in and start breaking apart these word problems. Logan bought 15 balloons. 4/5 of the balloons are purple. How many balloons are purple? Well, we know we have 15, and we need to know what 4/5 of 15 is. So we know this is a multiplication problem, and I know how to write the number 15, right? And I'm going to multiply it by 4/5. Well, 4/5 is just 4 over 5. So in order to solve and find out how many of the balloons are purple, I'm going to have 15 times 4/5, which means that I have to put my 15 over 1 in order to solve this problem. Now I have two fractions. Any whole number over 1 is just itself. So if you have 2 times a fraction, put that 2 over 1 in order to be able to solve it. So 15 times 4. If you're not sure, you can solve it like this by stacking. I know that 15 times 2 is 30, and that 30 plus 30 is 60. So I know that this is 60, but if you couldn't do that in your head, solve it this way. 4 times 5 is 20, so I drop a 0, carry a 2. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 2 is 6. So that equals 60. And then you have your denominator is 1 times 5, which gives you 5. If you remember, our numerator cannot be bigger than the denominator. So you say, how many times does 5 go into 60? Well, what times 5 equals 60? If you're not sure, you can set up a division problem and put 60 on the inside and 5 on the outside, or you can just count by 5 until you get to 60. I know that 5 times 10 is 50, 5 times 11 is 55, and 5 times 12 equals 60. So I know that 5 goes into 60 12 times. So you get your answer of 12. We've got one more problem that we're going to do together. So we have, in a 5th grade class, 4/5 of the girls have brown hair. Of the brown-haired girls, 3/4 of them have long hair. Of the girls with long brown hair, 1/3 have green eyes. So that's a lot of fractions to look at, right? We need to know what our question is to know which of those numbers we need to look at. Our question is, what fraction of the girls in the class have long brown hair? Well, 4/5 of the girls have brown hair. Of the brown-haired girls, 3/4 of them have long hair. So we know that 4/5 of the girls have brown hair. 3/4 of them have long brown hair. Of the girls with long brown hair, 1/3 of them have green eyes. This seems a little tricky, but we know that we're not going to use the 1/3, correct? Yeah, because our question doesn't ask about green eyes. It asks about long brown hair. So we know that we're just looking at 4/5 and 3/4. That means that we need to multiply 4/5 times 3/4 to find out what fraction of the girls have both long and brown hair. So when we set up this equation, it'll be 4 over 5 times 3 over 4. And just like last time, we're going to multiply our numerator by our numerator and denominator by our denominator. 4 times 3 is 12, and 5 times 4 is 20. Well, my numerator is smaller, but I still have to see if I can reduce these numbers. Is there a number that goes into both 12 and 20? So I'm going to see if I can divide 12 by a number and 20 by that same number. I like to start with 2 and I'll make my way up to 12 until I get to the biggest number I can. Well, I know that 12 and 20 are both divisible by 2 because they're even. So I could divide by 2, but I'm going to go ahead and see if I can do a bigger number. 12 is divisible by 3, but 20 is not. 12 is divisible by 4, and 20 is divisible by 4. So right now, 4 is my biggest number. 5, no. 12 is not divisible by 5. 12 is divisible by 6, but 20 isn't. Neither of them are divisible by 7. Neither are divisible by 8 or 9. 20 is divisible by 10, but 12 is not. Neither of those numbers are divisible by 11. And 12 is divisible by 12, but 20 is not. So the biggest number I had was 4. So I'm going to divide my top and bottom by 4. 12 divided by 4 is 3. And 20 divided by 4 is 5. So that means that your answer is going to be 3/5. So the fraction of girls in the class that have long brown hair is 3/5. That's all for today, guys, and I cannot wait to see you tomorrow.